We're live. It's Saturday, June 2nd, 2018. And if you're watching us live or watching this later, once it's been archived, you really want to stay with us and take notes. Because Bill Maher is lying to you. Now, a lot of you already know that and understand that. That's why the mainstream media is in so much trouble. That's why the corporate media, the legacy media, is clawing at the First Amendment from its grave, trying to restrict libertarians, conservatives, Christians, gun owners, nationalists, populists, believers in free market, Americanists, because they cannot compete with us. They have been in hundreds of newspapers this week, as I'm sure many of you saw, saying that I should be deplatformed and taken off the air, period. They then lie about what I've said and done, building a straw man, never actually showing what I said or did, little telltale sign, so that they can sell the idea of deplatforming yours truly. This is incredibly corrupt. Now, Bill Maher is afraid to debate me. Bill Maher has attacked me for years. When I've gone on shows like Piers Morgan, it has been the top news story for a week. Morgan had record ratings for his show for 2 weeks after I was on, and then he imploded. We all know what happened. Just like Megyn Kelly came and interviewed me, and that destroyed her career. Ladies and gentlemen, they are afraid to face me because I will pull back the curtain, live on air, in their face. I will call it out. No corporatist media will have me on. Their audiences aren't even that big, so it doesn't really matter. But it's a telltale sign of the fact that they will not face me. Now, this is a 5.5-minute clip of Maher, and it may take me 15 minutes to go through it, but I'm going to try to be as calm and as focused and also as brief as I can, going over each of the lies. But the entire thing is one giant fraud. It's amazing. Of course, he's reading off a teleprompter the entire time. This is last night. He says that Alex Jones runs the GOP. The GOP is the Alex Jones party. He says that Trump and I are soulmates. He basically says I run the country because he says the GOP runs the country. No, we have a civil war in the GOP to try to get nationalists and populists in. Trump is a beachhead. We're fighting Republican blue blood neocons and Democrat establishment, Hollywood scum, the communist Chinese, the EU, the globalist Pope, and the rest of them that are all pushing their world government. And the entire world, from Brazil to Italy, from Reykjavik, Iceland, to the United States of America, is standing up and saying no to them. Russia is pulling out of the globalist corporate system. It's all happening. The crony capitalists are panicking. They're pushing the race war button out of desperation. It's not working. So, what they do is they try to censor us, they try to block us, they try to take us off air. They're openly admitting they want to censor InfoWars and are doing it. And then they have Bill Maher and others come out and lie about what I stand for to then build a straw man, a villain, that they then project onto Donald Trump. But the truth is, the economy's turning around. Millions will be saved by experimental drugs, being able to get to people that are terminally ill. The left says, go ahead and kill yourself. We'll pay for that. But, oh no, you shouldn't be able to have experimental drugs. It might hurt you. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And so Trump's done that. He's done so much. And they misrepresent when he says you got a lot of illegals that are criminals coming into the U.S. need to be deported. They then say Trump says all Mexicans are criminals. He says on video, oh, MS-13, they're a bunch of animals. I think they're worse than animals. And they go, oh, look, he called Mexicans animals. It's all lies. And that's what Maher's doing. But here's the good news. People are seeing through it. So I'm going to do my best to just start and stop this. And then each time we'll back up about 2 seconds so you can hear it in its full context. You can make a whole documentary off this 5.5 minutes. You can have a 2-hour film just going into each 2 or 3 second lie he tells in this tissue of lies, this compendium. It's unbelievable. So I guess let's just go ahead and get started with this. And then we're going to look at CNN admitting that the economy's the best it's been since the 50s, that everything's turning around, but saying despite Trump, when it's been the policies of Trump that basically untied the boat from the dock. You ever tried to drive off in a boat and you forget and it's tied up? I've done it. Getting gas or something, your little motorboat, and you got two or three ties and you forget one, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm dragging the dock with me. Trump's just untying the ties, the drag lines. That's all that's happening. I'd love to give him more credit. It's hard to hold America back. It's hard to hold free market back. But these big mega banks like Bezos and Amazon, they pay zero tax. Look it up. But they want you to pay higher taxes because they're monopoly men. Even the Wall Street Journal on Friday had the headline, tech giants are tiptoeing towards monopoly. And it had quotes of the tech giants saying, we're all going to merge and rule the planet. And then Elon Musk is, man, these people are crazy. They worship a silicon god and say humanity's obsolete. They're all going to live forever. They attacked me when I made Endgame 11 years ago, detailing all that. Now it's mainstream news. So that's why they hate us. We're tomorrow's news today. And that's why they're demonizing us, is because we expose their fraudulent wars that kill millions of innocent people. We expose that normal 3G and 4G has doubled cancer rates in mainline studies, and that 5G will fry tens of millions in the U.S. alone, on record, including reducing fertility, heart attacks, you name it. It's unbelievable. All of this is coming out. I told you 20-something years ago with scientists. They know that what I talk about, I break the ice, and then it makes it safe for others to cover it later. So Bill Maher is reading off a teleprompter. He has more than 20 writers. They have loaded the teleprompter. He's reading off the teleprompter. And then he turns to his audience and has their little discussion with a bunch of cackling Democrats. So this is all a confidence game where they're up there lying to everybody. Look how far Google's gone in closing before I go to this video. They now list all Republicans in California as Nazis. That was Friday. They didn't even apologize for it. They've delisted Easter and other Christmas and Christian holidays, but they've added Islamic ones. So is Apple. This is a war on traditionalism because they're overriding the U.S. with this new global corporate politically correct system. It's amazing. Okay, without further ado, Bill Maher talks about me all the time now. All these shows. Colbert has characters based on me. And all they do with the dozens of TV programs, documentaries, Netflix shows, all of it, they never let you hear more than 5 seconds of what I'm saying. You can look it up. Megyn Kelly said that I said that Hillary was killing kids in a basement of a pizza place. And I was talking about Hillary funding the Arab Spring that killed millions of people, including hundreds of thousands of women and children. But she edited that out and then played audio from my TV show. That's another telltale sign. When they're playing audio, you can know they're manipulating. So this is what they do. And instead of stopping lying, they are now increasing their lying, thinking that will make us submit. But history shows no idea can be stopped once its time has come. No army can stop an idea whose time has come, to quote Victor Hugo and, of course, Mark Twain. In the similar vein, in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce, feared, and hated man. But in time when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And they can have the whole deep state and congressional CIA hearings where they say the CIA under Obama in his last month in office was setting up stay-behind networks to stop me. I have the congressional hearings. That's what this is. Stay-behind networks. You don't know what those are? Look into it. When one party goes out of power, they leave their factions in. And since then, they've admitted they've done that. Hayden was on the news a week ago saying, don't follow Trump's orders, resist him in the government, mutiny, stay behind till we get there. They're using terms they used in the Cold War when the Russians would overthrow a country politically or militarily. They would leave stay-behind networks. They're using the same tactics they used against the Russians, but we're the patriots exposing the globalists that have sold us out to Communist China. Communist China now dictates what Hollywood should do. It's bought up Hollywood. I'm going to stop right there. Let's go ahead and go to Bill Maher, because this is incredible. This is him last night. He does the normal thing, mix Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster in with what I'm saying. I don't do that. He then says, remember the old days when politicians couldn't lie to us? No, now people are finally fed up with it. Bill Clinton I didn't have sex with that woman. George H.W. Bush, he says, is this great guy. Read my lips, no new taxes. Lying us into all those wars. Signing all the gun control stuff. And they go, oh, remember when the NRA, one of their spokespersons, G. Gordon Liddy, called the ATF jackbooted thugs for killing those kids at Waco? And Bill Maher's like, how dare them be mean to our law enforcement? The left says randomly kill cops. CNN, when cops get killed, go, well, some cops are bad, so other cops have got to pay. Black Lives Matter. It just, none of it's congruent. When you know what you're hearing from Bill Maher, oh, I love federal officers so much. He's all part of the left. When he says, oh, I love the children so much. Alex Jones says kids didn't die, blah, 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 and then twist and distorts what I really said with Sandy Hook, which was a Hillary Clinton ad campaign against Trump during the campaign. Didn't work too well, did it? Folks know how you guys edit and how you deceive. He doesn't care about kids. We've got clips of him saying, I want more abortion, more death, more euthanasia, more suicide, whatever gets the highway moving. The left doesn't want you getting experimental care. The left wants to block new technologies. Again, everything he says when you know what he's really doing is a lie. All of it. Oh, and the biggest one. And we can pull up some articles on this. Remember 3 weeks ago, headline, former head of national intelligence, Clapper, on The View, said, well, we did spy on Trump, but I don't like to call it that. Headline, Clapper, we did spy on Trump. And it's all come out, and the FBI's admitted it. But Bill Maher spins it and goes, it wasn't spying Trump. No one spied on you. The FBI was just trying to stop Russians inside your campaign that we know were there, which is another lie. That's now been disproven. But he's sitting there like a con man reading off a teleprompter. Here, let's do some shots around the room in here if we can. Or maybe with this camera or with the document cam. There's no teleprompter in here. I'm not looking at a teleprompter over there. There's a camera right there and there's a TV screen so I can see what we put on screen. That's it. I'm talking to you straight. I believe in you. I believe that you can think for yourself. I believe that you can look things up. I believe in you. No teleprompter. Now let's go back to that shot for him. Nobody else does that. You know why? Because they've got to be told what to say so they can have unified propaganda against you. There's a camera against that wall. There's 2 chairs for when guests are here. You put in a bigger monitor over there. You can see where they drilled it in Friday afternoon but didn't vacuum. There it is. That's what's going on in here. There's no teleprompter. It's me looking at the camera, talking to you live right now. Now, let's show you Bill Maher, who prepares for days with writers on record to do one program where he reads off a teleprompter and then sits there with a bunch of political hacks who then regurgitate the talking points to create a false sense of consensus. It's amazing. The good news is they're panicking. America's coming back. Freedom's coming back. An understanding of free market capitalism's coming back. The swamp is being drained. History's being made. It's all coming up. We're going to get to the positive news after this, but let's go ahead and begin without further ado. Bill Maher basically claiming that I run America. No, the big foundations, the big banks, the big universities, Hollywood, they run the country. We run part of the Republican Party, and we've got a beachhead, and we're turning things around, and people can see it. And you guys are scared, and you should be. Oh, he also makes the joke that I'm claiming there's sex stuff going on, and then misdiverting, over to the pizza place where I documented that stuff wasn't going on. It was the media focus on the pizzeria instead of the pizza codes in New York in John Podesta's emails that they don't want to talk about. With Aleister Crowley rituals and kids being delivered to the hot tubs and Jeffrey Epstein and the Lolita Express plane with the little kids and Weinstein on the plane and all the raped women. This stuff all came out. It's in that WikiLeaks and Wiener and all of it. He just makes it a big joke. Oh, how dare Alex Jones say this stuff's going on. A talking point. Megyn Kelly couldn't find me saying they were killing kids in a basement, so she edited a tape of me talking about the Middle East and them raping kids. That was mainstream news. Headline, 7-year-old girl gang raped by over 100 men till she died. Women being sold into sex slavery after Hillary's liberation in Libya. That's mainstream news. So what do? You edit it criminally because you're a dirty lawyer like Megyn Kelly. Then you get her to come here and say, oh, I'm not going to talk about Sandy Hook. She comes here as a lawyer to bring it up. I say, hey, if what I said was taken out of context, because we investigate all these big events, the stuff has been staged before, like Gulf of Tonkin and babies in incubators against the Iraq War and other things, I now think, looking at the evidence that happened, if having to investigate that hurt people's feelings with the media misrepresenting it, I apologize. She'd go, no, but you said. What'd you say it? Well, what are the anomalies? To get me to cover the anomalies again, now we know she was in contact with all those groups and law firms to sue me. Think about that. And legal scholars all over the news, all over San Francisco Chronicle, all over everybody saying, here's how we shut him down. We overturn New York Times versus Sullivan. Do you know what that'll do to all of you with all of your constant lying on purpose? And in the articles it says, we want to destroy Alex Jones. We want to silence him. That's the malice of forethought, intent to do harm, going over the hurdle to where even public figures would lose defamation suits. You lie about me? Not the families. They're being used and manipulated, and we pray for them. And again, I apologize that I wasn't sophisticated enough when I got sucked into all this. And, the hundreds of apologies over the last 3-4 years never get to you, obviously, because you'd have heard those. I've seen some of the parents, I'm with Megyn Kelly saying I should just apologize and stop saying it. Well, I didn't say the things they said I said. And the apologies never get to you. I'm sure you haven't heard the hundreds of apologies. So here he is teeing that back up against Sandy Hook, opening that wound again so they can say that I'm doing it. Oh, Alex, just stop saying nobody died. Stop saying we staged our children's deaths. And I'm not saying that, but they say I said it. The Bill Mahers of the world, the law professors, all of it. And they say in the articles, the law journals, we don't have a case because, Jones didn't really say this stuff, but he meant it. I mean, I've talked to the top lawyers across the country, liberal and conservative. They've never seen anything like it. And now they agree with me because it's in the news. The lawyers and the Democrats involved say they are ending the First Amendment, just like they've done on college campuses. And I am the test case for it. You don't think I'm important enough to be on every news channel every night and in thousands of articles a month lying about me. No. It's to demonize the First Amendment and set the precedent and the Alex Jones statute. It is to create Sandy Hook parents versus Alex Jones. They admit that to end the First Amendment. I'm just tempted to do whatever I have to mail letters to the parents or come visit them and apologize at their door that I was sucked into this and anything I did wrong, apologize, because obviously they're not knowing all this is going on. They just keep saying I need to apologize and stop saying nobody died. And I haven't even investigated that or even postulated in a devil's advocate discussion in years that. So they must be showing them old edited clips and lying and brutalizing these families. And that's wrong. Think about that. Okay, let's go ahead and get to Bill Maher. I've already kind of set up a lot of his lies, but let's go ahead and go to Bill Maher last night as we analyze this incredible deception as he basically panics. Here it is.
And finally, new rule, conspiracy theories have to go back to what they used to be. Fun little stories we would tell each other when we were high.
Yeah, I want to start it all the way over because there's one exhibit I forgot to bring in here. Type into a search engine, CIA created the term in 1964 conspiracy theory. It was declassified in 1992. And there's Associated Press, Reuters articles about it. There's Huffington Post articles about it. The CIA created the term conspiracy theorist in 64 because just a few months before, in November of 63, John F. Kennedy got his head blown off in Dealey Plaza, Dallas. And they wanted to make it where asking questions was bad. And so they, instead of having a debate, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. And you can also click images and it'll show you news articles and headlines. So you need to look this up. There's some other ones. I want to show some mainstream news articles if we can. And just, we'll come back to that later. I'll do a whole nother live program on that because I meant to do it 2 weeks ago and I didn't. You can actually pull off the congressional record as well. There's a big printouts of it. CIA created the term conspiracy theorist 1964. That will give you the headline. Now, expanding on that, Let's go back to Bill Maher, because in every point he makes has history, has facts behind it. Every 3 seconds, you could do a whole college course on just that area of deception and all the lies and the centralization. That's why it's teleprompter, because it's all just fed in off the script. Here it is.
And finally, new rule, conspiracy theories have to go back to what they used to be. Fun little stories we would tell each other when we were high. Space alien.
That's called, just leave me up. That's called ghost stories or old wives' tales or fish stories. You ever hear about the hobo ghost that comes by on Christmas Eve? That's not what we're doing. We're saying we question Kennedy being shot by one gunman, and now 90+% of America knows the truth. And the guy that ran the operation gave a deathbed confession. E. Howard Hunt, on and on and on. So let's continue.
Crashed in Roswell. Hitler escaped to Argentina. Elvis is alive and working at the IHOP.
Pause again. Back up to the start. See, what they do is they get you in a fun time. It's Friday night. You're drinking. You're hanging out. It's, Elvis at the IHOP. It's a bunch of cute stuff. It gets you in a non-serious mode, but they're deadly serious with what they're about to do. It's well known that more than 20,000 Nazis went to Argentina. That's declassified. 34,000 Nazis came to the U.S. in Operation Paperclip. I just gave you the real name. I just gave you the real numbers. Here, test my memory. Type in number of Nazis that came to the U.S. Operation Paperclip. It's 33,000, 32,000. And we're talking top Nazis. Oh, but see, you make a joke. Oh, Hitler, Argentina. There was a plan to get Hitler to Argentina. They found the German sunk U-boats. They found the full German command bases that are still owned by German companies. IBM ran the Holocaust. Pulitzer Prize-winning book details that. Where are the Nazis? Look around you. Now, did Hitler ever get to Argentina? We don't know. Did he put billions of dollars over there? You bet your britches. Yeah, just type in Operation Paperclip. Number of Nazis smuggled out in the rat line. The rat line was the actual operation on the ground getting them out, giving them new identities through the Vatican and the CIA. But the paperclip was the then giving them new names, in some cases not giving them new names, and repopulating them here in the United States. Sorry. Let me continue. So, now you see I could talk for 100 hours and dissect every stinking lie of this guy. So, joke, Hitler, Nazis being protected. Oh, everybody knows that's pure bull. My grandfather, my mom's dad, was part German, and they were in the German community here in Texas, and they spoke a little German. And let me tell you, there were some Nazis around here during World War II, by the way, not just after. But let's go ahead now. What's the number? What do they say there? The new number declassified is 32,000. What does Wikipedia say? That's 1,600 German scientists. Yeah. But that's the total number of Germans in Operation Paperclip brought into the U.S. Just type in Operation Paperclip 32,000, 33,000. It's one of those numbers. Point is, he's saying this stuff isn't going on. Let's start Bill Maher over. Here we go.
And finally, new rule, conspiracy theories have to go back to what they used to be. Fun little stories we would tell each other when we were high. Space aliens crashed in Roswell. Hitler escaped to Argentina. Elvis is alive and working at the IHOP. That's what conspiracy theories used to be. But now they're the ideology of the Republican Party. Conspiracy theories.
Pause back in 5 seconds. That's again, demonize me, lie about me, then project it onto Trump. Project it onto Trump. Project it onto Trump. That's the real goal here. Then he says, vote at the end, stop the Republican red wave tsunami. See, they do this Aleister Crowley magical thinking that, we're going to have a blue wave. Trump's going to get impeached. Now everything shows a red tsunami. They're panicking. So it's all them trying to con you one more time. Let's continue with this con man.
Conspiracy theories used to be, but now they're the ideology of the Republican Party. Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, the ideology is questioning you a known liar. We don't believe anything you say anymore. And now Google has basically ended its search functions. It doesn't even work anymore, right? where you can't even find stuff is folks don't want you looking this information up. Let's continue.
Party. Conspiracy theorists used to be called crazy. Now they're called senator.
Fact.
Go for it, Spring guys.
It used to be an unwritten rule of both parties that you can't just make up.
Okay, hit pause again. Back it up 15 seconds. Did you catch the last thing? Oh, it's so intellectual. He used a cuss word and he called people crazy. He didn't even say what senator it was. He just said, you used to not be able to BS people. Really? It's harder to BS now with rating services for restaurants and massages and building, mechanics. Service quality's gone up, every study shows. Same thing with news. There's more choices than ever. We're getting better results around the world. Globalism's in trouble. It thought it could just sneak in with a global corporate tyranny. It can't. So again, he just, crazy, kooks, loon balls, Elvis, space aliens, Hitler. None of that we're getting into. But they just misrepresent the same boring, stupid, tinfoil hat garbage. Here it is.
Fact.
Oh,
he shook his head.
It used to be an unwritten rule of both parties that you can't just make up. The old, you're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts thing. But that was before Republicans discovered, yes, you can just make
stop again. Both parties, political systems around the world deceive and lie. But the Democrats have taken it to a new level during the campaign and the fake polls and the rigging the debates and all the lying and promoting racism. I mean, they are full on. But he just says, you make stuff up. And then he says a cuss word, and they have signs that go on saying applause. Everybody goes, yay, yay, yeah. Totally synthetic. Teleprompters. Crowds told to sit there and cheer. It'd be so weird if I played a laugh track in the background when I talked. Because a lot of these shows just have a laugh track. Why do we put up with a laugh track? Because that's all this is. It's as phony as a $3 bill. A guy reading off a teleprompter with a laugh track who thinks you're an idiot. Continue.
You can have your own facts. In fact, we just pulled a fresh batch out of the oven. And by the oven, I mean our ass.
Hit pause. Man, this is so intellectual, and he talks with a slow cadence and kind of looks down and looks back up, so you think he's really talking to you, not reading off a teleprompter. He didn't even write what he's saying to you. The system doesn't respect any of you out there. It thinks you're fools. But he sits there with that smug look. Here it is. Let me see if I can do that fake con man look. It's hard to do, but here, let me try to do it. I can't even do it. This looks like an old truck. Oh, it's brand new, actually. It's retro. They got new ones coming out that look like they're 30 years old. Really, there's a lot of rust back here. Oh, no, that's a patina they had. Hi, I'm Bill Maher. I'm a con man. How you doing? Here, let's go back to it.
And by the oven, I mean our ass.
So intellectual.
I never liked Rush Limbaugh, but I would take a return to 90s era ditto heads any day, because it turned out that Rush was really just a gateway drug.
Okay, let's stop there. Back it up. Now a little bit of truth seeps in. They know that we create the talking points. We make it safe for people to question authority. We stand at political correctness, and we've changed the discourse away from all the political diversions that were going on. And we now have Limbaugh and everybody else looking into the things we cover, which every time turn out to be accurate. Bill Maher thinks you're so dumb. He's about to say, it's insane. No one was spying on Trump. We were just spying on the Russians in your campaign. Now, that's a mind game. That's gaslighting. That is a Jedi mind trick. These aren't the droids you're looking for. And they're the droids you're looking for. It's C-3PO and R2-D2 in the back of the speeder. Bigger than life, and you're saying, I see a toaster in the back of this thing. They told you nobody was spying on Trump. Alex Jones made it up. Remember that? They bragged when he was president-elect. We got him. We spied on him. He's a Russian agent. And of course, it wasn't there, but the spying was illegal, and they lied about it, and they leaked it. And so now they're in trouble. So now they're going, I mean, McCabe is under sealed indictment. I told you that a few months ago. It was in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times on Friday. And you know what the sealed indictments are? Lying to the FISA court, lying to Congress, lying to the Justice Department about surveillance. And it came out that Obama tried to take control of surveillance away from the Justice Department in the last few weeks of his administration so that that would be covered up from Trump. You guys are in deep crap, man. And I'm going to come back. That's why they don't want me to be on air. I'm going to come back when even more of it comes out and McCabe is indicted and all this stuff is 100% out there. And I'm going to show you Bill Maher telling you that Trump would never be president, that there was no spying, on and on. It's admitted. Clapper said 2.5 weeks ago on The View, yes, we spied on him, but I don't like to call it that. I would love to have been Trump's source that he was spied on. My source was Barack Hussein Obama in the New York Times in November and December and January of 2016 and 17. I've done whole special reports showing you that, all of it. And Bill Maher, though, I'll con these people one more time. I'll get in there and show these, flyover country scumbag Americans. And you ask, why do they hate America so much? Because you can only find people that hate America to serve the globalist. They're pieces of crap, and their time is coming to an end. So his big lies happen right here. Here it is.
I never liked Rush Limbaugh, but I would take a return to 90s era ditto heads any day, because it turned out that Rush was really just a gateway drug to which they eventually built up a tolerance and then needed something stronger. That was Glenn Beck, which led to Alex Jones. And now, Republicans, you're the Alex Jones party. There is literally nothing too stupid and conspiracy.
Back it up 20 seconds. Let's look at this again. How do you take a broadcast exposing there's a private corporate world government above the law, tax exempt, with diplomatic immunity that is openly setting up a planetary regime under AI, total computer control, with a goal of depopulating? Told you that 20 years ago, made a film 11 years ago called Endgame. It's free online. Elon Musk now word for word says everything I say because he's in the meetings with them. I was just reading their books. I mean, all the top Google executives, Apple, they're all talking about it. They've made the decision. They don't believe in God yet. They're going to become it. And that's why they're so pissed. They don't want me here telling you what's going on because they know if they listen to Jones, well, Trump did listen to that. And he talked to top people in the Pentagon. They said, no, what Mr. Jones is saying is correct. And I know Donald Trump Jr. and all those guys have seen Endgame. Pence has seen Endgame. And they went to the Pentagon. I was thinking about this. I may do another live broadcast because I've kind of gone over here just on the secrets of who's really fighting back and who's really running the show. Because I knew a lot of this, but I've now confirmed it. So that's a whole other issue. But they're pissed because they know that we have tens of millions of listeners. But what's really important is who are our listeners? And I told you Trump would start releasing life extension technologies the day of the inauguration before he even did it. The New York Times came up to me as I was leaving the inauguration, and there was an article. And they said, how did you know that? And how did you know he'd call for providence and invite God back into America? Did you talk to the president today? And I said, no, I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. I said, I am, along with others, advising the president through the ether. And they finally get to some truth at the end when they say soulmates. But there are billions of people that want a future for their children. There are billions of people that are soulmates and understand what's going on. And yeah, we are synced up, and that's why they're so scared. I can tell you what Trump's going to say in a speech before he says it, because he's the real deal. He's trying to turn things around, have a pro-human future. Bill Maher is a sellout who says he likes assisted suicide. He likes suicide. He likes death. He likes people killing themselves because he wants to get the freeway moving. Look it up. He's a monster. He's a sick, greedy, hateful Hollywood scumbag who's afraid to have me on because he's a coward. He reads off a teleprompter. Now, I'm sorry. Let's just go back to where they're saying from Limbaugh which was kind of the internet of the old days before we had internet. Some free speech, not perfect. To Beck, who just tried to ape what I do. He was the doppelganger. To now, in the end, it comes out. The truth, however long buried, always comes to the surface. Though thrown in the deepest sea, it one day washes up on shore. And people have already moved on past InfoWars. Sure, we have a lot of new listeners and we're doing well and expanding, but people are already light years ahead of us in many ways themselves. We were one wave, we were one phase, and we're still going to be here, and we're going to have new waves of our fight. But I mean, it's they don't even understand what's going on. They think it's all centralized because they're all centralized. The few talking points John Podesta and a few others cooked up to go against me within the campaign are the stuff they're still using on me 2 years later. Because they are command and control. These people are slaves. They follow orders. They can't deal with something that's from the hip. Yeah, there it is. We need to promote death. It was worse than that. The planet's too overcrowded. We need to promote death. And see, that's what they can't stand, folks. And by the way, that's not out of context. We have the video. All right. Let's go back to Maher. Here it is.
You know, I never liked Rush Limbaugh, but I would take a return to 90s era ditto heads any day, because it turned out that Rush was really just a gateway drug to which they eventually built up a tolerance and then needed something stronger. That was Glenn Beck, which led to Alex Jones. And now, Republicans, you're the Alex Jones party. There is literally nothing too stupid and conspiratorial that you will not swallow.
All right, stop there. Everything Trump told you he would do, except for keeping troops in Afghanistan, he's done. His scorecard's like a 95. Obama, Bush, it was like a 5. Everything's turning around right in front of you. And they don't even know what to do. It was official policy to keep the Korean War going. Trump's ending it. Kim Jong-un can't even pay for his hotel room in Singapore. It's pathetic. You think those communist leaders see how well we're living and they don't actually, as evil as they are, feel bad about what they're doing and feel like losers? They can't even make an automobile. They can't even produce electric power. But what's the average millennial with skinny jeans and a $1,000 smartphone getting their third degree tell you? Oh, we like communism, we like socialism. 53% of them in a Gallup poll, drinking their Starbucks latte with a phone in their hand at South by Southwest with a $3,000 ticket. We went around and said, what's your ideology? Communist socialism. And then the media held up those idiots we talked to as gods and said, look, they destroyed Jones and his reporters. Look how smart they are. So that you go, oh, I'm smart. Look, it says I'm smart. In the Huffington Post, they're laughing at you. They're preying on you. Maher thinks you're a failure. I've read articles he wrote about how much he hates everybody and how he wants to kill everybody and how he wants to depopulate. He's a horrible, demonic, bad person. I know people that have had dinner with him and know him well. And he is a miserable, hateful person that talks about how much he hates Christians and how much he hates God and how God doesn't exist, but he hates God. You'll never beat God, Maher, as much as you practice all day putting on your suave act all day. It's an act. You're going in the dustbin of history. So they take our strength, what we're doing here in InfoWars, they lie about it and twist it and turn our greatest strength into a weapon against Trump. Hoping that Trump will then forsake me and talk bad about me. They're always writing letters to him and this and that in this group. Oh, decry Alex Jones, he did this, he did that. Trying to get Trump to do that so that I would then attack Trump and take away some of his key support. I'm not that stupid. In fact, I don't think the president should betray me. But I've told the president, if he needs to, go ahead and do it. And he knows that isn't even needed. You fools. You don't know anything about loyalty. You don't know anything about honor. You don't know anything about vision. We built the country. We built the technology. All of it. You parasites can't even wipe your own asses. All right. Let's go back to this parasite.
conspiratorial that you will not swallow. Hillary running a child sex ring out of a pizza parlor.
It
sounds.
We had them dead to rights with the Podesta emails, the $65,000 hot dog party for Obama, all the pizza codes the FBI says they use for that. So the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, all focused on a pizzeria where the Democrats meet, to then focus on that and some of the bizarre and racy art and things. So there was some meat on the hook there. And then everybody focuses on that away from the WikiLeaks and Epstein, Alita Express, Slave Islands, Nexium branding cults, Aleister Crowley rituals. I mean, it's insane. Half the photos of Alexander Soros, the heir to the whole fortune, it's a lot bigger than they even tell you. It's a crime boss for the Rothschilds. Half the photos of him, when you do a search on images, is at Aleister Crowley rituals with the high priest and priestesses. With dead bodies, simulated dead bodies. God almighty, you scratch the surface, Satanism just sprays out of the wall. But how does a mama bird get you to get away from the nest when a predator's about to get those eggs, a possum or a fox? What does she do? She falls on the ground and her wing's broken. Oh, so they fell from New York to D.C. and had a broken wing. And we all ran over there. And the little eggies, the little Aleister Crowley devil worship eggs were safe. All right. So that's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. A bunch of compromised people. Oh, if you have Alex Jones on your podcast, we'll release that you're gay. If you don't turn against Trump, we'll tell people you're bisexual. Not speaking of me, somebody else. This is how the whole thing works. This is what goes on. But see, nowadays, that isn't enough to get people to roll over. So you don't get in their club unless you do horrible things. You think most people that join these horrible gangs, black gangs, white gangs, Hispanic gangs, Asian gangs, really want to rob an old lady and pistol whip her? No, they have to do something bad so they're compromised and feel guilty and are now under the control. And you don't get in the high-level globalist clubs unless you have sex with little boys and girls. And then you don't get in the inner club unless you torture them to death. And that's a fact, Jack. And it's all coming out. Just like we told you Trump was going to go after the pedophile rings, and you see it happening everywhere. You know, that's just the beginning with the indictments of Weinstein. I told you Weinstein would go down. A year ago, they attacked me in the Huffington Post saying, how dare Jones claim Weinstein's connected to rapes and that women are then brought into cults and branded and tied up. There's a lot I can't tell you about because I can't prove it 100%, but I know it from good sources who've then proven it because it comes out. Devil worship. All right, let's finish up with Maher. Here it is.
Out of a pizza parlor. Sounds right. Obama's birth certificate, fake. Jade Helm, absolutely.
All right, pause. Pentagon source sends Jade Helm to Joe Biggs. Joe's a good guy. I look at it on air and I say, see, you can turn it sideways. It's the Middle East. From Israel and Jordan over here through Syria to an Iran attack. This is a simulation for that. But they'll have it dual use as well for being able to take over local government. And they released documents about a year later admitting that it was for taking over the internet and controlling also during civil unrest in the U.S. And I learned that later from some Green Berets and people that were involved in Jade Helm. But we never said they're coming to invade 2015. Obama's going to invade. We never said that. But they said, Jones said the military's coming to make it sound like I hate the military. And then to say I said martial law was coming when it was their own map that showed Texas as a hostile area and Orange County as a hostile area and Utah. All the Republican areas are hostile. All the Democrats are friendly. It was a multi-level psyop. And it was given to us because within a day of me covering it, it was all over the news everywhere, lying about me. We were set up. But it doesn't matter. I still would have reported on Jade Helm. I accurately reported on it. See, once you know the truth, though, it's crazy. Let's continue. Here it is.
Certificate fake. Jade Helm, absolutely. Trump Tower.
I'll stop again. It took us years to figure out what was happening with Obama's birth certificate. We now know definitively because of Joel Gilbert and others. It's all confirmed. Dreams My Real Father. We sell the DVD at InfoWarsStore.com. There's big clips of it online. His real father was Frank Marshall Davis. He wrote about him in his own book, saying it was like a father. He spent the summers with the famous top communist and pornographer. He had pretty good taste. It was like Betty Page type stuff. But Frank Marshall Davis looks like him. Frank Marshall Davis is his father. We've talked to the witnesses. There's photos of him on the same couch with Frank Marshall Davis. That Obama's mother is in the porn shots with famous porn actresses, spanking them and stuff on the same couch that Obama's got in his book, him sitting on with the same painting in the background. So they created the fake birth certificate and even put it out in 6 layers. And remember, they used the Microsoft typewriter font. So every typewriters, every splat is like a snowflake. It's different from the pressure. But with a digital font, it looks like it has fake splats. It has splats, but they've been added. They're not original, so it's the same. I looked at it in 20 minutes and said, check that. Boom, that's Microsoft. Here's the year. I put it out. 3 years later, top Italian and German experts on forgeries came out and said the exact same thing. It was in 6 layers. The White House released it in 6 layers of Photoshop to drive us crazy. It took me years to figure it out. He is Barack Hussein Davis, Barry Soetoro, all these names. He's a cutout. All right. Back it up. And I know I've stopped this a lot, folks, but this is the reality of what's going on here. That's how much time it takes to go through each lie he's putting out. Continue.
A child sex ring out of a pizza parlor. Sounds right. Obama's birth certificate, fake. Jade Helm, absolutely. Trump Tower, the crazier it gets, the more they like
pause.
it.
Now you get the final goal. Vote to stop the evil Republicans, stop the red tsunami, and oh, look, Infowars.com says that Obama was spying on Trump during the campaign. That's all been declassified, confirmed, given to Congress. They're still trying to block more documents. Clapper and Brennan have admitted it on TV. We've played the clips. But it's weird. They had to admit it. Comey admitted that McCabe lied. McCabe is set to be indicted. And then they go, look, Alex Jones says they were spying on him. There's nothing this crazy guy won't say. They insert the thing they're most afraid of is that illegal spying. There was low-level spying that made Nixon leave office, a third-rate burglary of a psychiatrist of the guy they were running against. This is surveillance of the campaign in triplicate. The New York Times had admitted they were wiretapping their aides. The New York Times said, we've got the proof. But, of course, they didn't. So then, after the 20th, they changed the story and went, we were never spying because now the president was the president. And he was able to see all the documents that they were. But he didn't want to declassify for national security reasons. He let them all lie and testify to Congress that they had spied on him. So they would all perjure themselves, and now they're caught, and the indictments are being prepared. One of them's already sealed for McCabe. And we'll be here, Bill Maher, showing your lies when it all comes out. Mr. Slicky Slick, Mr. Read off a teleprompter, Mr. Anorexic in his little sooty suits, Mr. Metrosexual. He's your boss. He knows best. If Bill Maher can't do it, nobody can. Bill Maher, he's our man. If he can't scam him, nobody can. Dorothy had the red slippers to get back to Kansas. Why? We want to get back to the New World Order where Hollywood runs our lives and tells parents what to do and, don't use the word mother or father, to get back to that heavenly place where there's more death for him, depopulation. Well, he's got to click his little red slippers together, doesn't he? See how that works? But just like there's evil in the world, there's good in the world. And that's why they tell you I'm bad and a villain all day, because they know I'm a sweetheart. I like my children. I like puppy dogs and kitty cats. I like beautiful sunsets. But I also like bringing down tyrants, and I like banging heads. And I actually love what's going on. I want to get you, and you know it, you trash. So you just keep pushing. Just like they built me up during the campaign. We were huge, but they built us up to demonize Trump, and it took us next level, and they panicked. 86 million viewers in 1 week, from a plateau of 30 million a week to over 50 million a week. And even after all their massive censorship, it's failing. And now we're getting unbelievable quality of listeners, governmental leaders all over the world. We're the hottest thing on the planet right now. And these idiots think they've got so much credibility, they can tug on heartstrings and manipulate stories to make it look like I'm a villain. They don't even understand that they're doing the same thing they already did. And they're such liars, they believe I'm doing a convincing talk here to get them off my back. They can't even understand truth. They can't even understand it when it's in their face and admitted. I tell them what I'm going to do. I tell them what I'm planning. I tell them what I stand for. That's my power. But you don't know about that, do you? The sun just shines and the grass grows, fools. It's there. It just gives. Because it's the sun. And those of us that love God are made in the image of the Creator. And we just want to give. But if it means we've got to give our lives or run you over politically to help others, we'll do it. Because scum and trash like you can no longer have its way with the people, you monster. And the monster is behind you. I rebuke Bill Maher in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I ask God to intercede and to bring justice, however God sees fit, upon this man. And I ask all of you, even if you're not a believer, those new prayers are even more powerful. God wants to show you. Pray that Bill Maher, like Saul of Tarsus on the road to Damascus, experience the real power of God. Let him, as if Pharaoh experienced it, feel it now. Pray that however God visits this man, whether it be through violence or love, whether it be as a specter in the night, or whether it be incredible beauty revealed, if there's any good left in Bill Maher, there could be good left in this world. Because Bill Maher is of the devil. He wants to kill you. He wants you to die. He wants to abort babies. He doesn't want you to have experimental health care. He wants you to rot. He hates himself, and he hates you, and he's of his father, Lucifer. Bill Maher is a devil worshiper. Bill Maher is of Satan. In his own words, he wants you to die. He wants to depopulate. He wants the world for dominion for himself. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. I ask God for judgment against Bill Maher and against all of his masters. You are vipers. And you know it. And you will not bring us down with your 5G and your GMO. Humanity's awakening. You're scared and you know it, liar. Defiler. You will never be a god. You will never merge with machines. You're already fallen, fool. You can't even look up from your fallen state and see the heavens. But some of us will experience the next level. You will be walled off in eternity if you don't turn back. Walled off in eternity with only your kind and none of us to feed on, vampire. Bill Maher, I believe, is too far gone, but there are some of you that can turn back still. Let's finish up with Maher.
They like it. That's their jam. They believe anything, so we can stop sending reporters to diners now to figure them out. They're not there for the breakfast. They literally think there are clouds in the coffee.
Pause. Clouds in the coffee. Oh, so he goes back to we're crazy again. Oh, that's so intellectual. Continue.
After the breakfast, they literally think there are clouds in the coffee. This week we found out that 83% of Republicans either definitely believe or are unsure whether 5 million people voted illegally in the last election.
All right, pause again. This is the hoaxing. It just gets better. on record, the New York Times even had to admit in a report from Yale, using computers, looking at the number of people that voted in the names of dead people that were on the voting rolls, that 5 million plus people potentially voted illegally. The Democratic Party has been caught by Project Veritas all over the country, admitting they ship people in to vote in the names of dead people up to 10 times. They're famous for it. You have the Democrats in 14 states passing laws or trying to pass laws for illegal aliens to vote and giving them driver's license so they can vote and telling them to vote. But he says Trump's crazy and made it all up. When it's on record, the Democrats in San Francisco and all over are letting illegals vote. It's just, they think you're so dumb. Here it is.
Last election, something Trump just completely made up. He even appointed a voter fraud commission based on his own fraud. Hey, you remember that bullshit
Stop
I made
there.
up?
Stop there. We're internet only right now. We're not on TV or the satellite, so I don't think it's bad that cuss word got out. I don't know why I had you guys bleep it. Anyways, I forget we're usually on TV and radio, so we can't do that. We're just internet only right now. Came in on Saturday. That was a good one. Back that up. A little pun, a little double entendre, a little, it must be true because he says that Trump is saying there's election fraud and that illegals vote the names of dead people or homeless too. Why, that's insane. That's like saying, that mountains are tall and, the ocean's blue and birds fly in the sky. This is insane. And then he goes, based on his fraud. And then the commission couldn't get the states to give them all the numbers and couldn't track it, but they did look at all the dead people that had voted and said we need to expunge these rolls, and that the Democrats are openly saying have illegals vote. Let's continue.
Whether 5 million people voted illegally in the last election, something Trump just completely made up. He even appointed a voter fraud commission based on his own fraud.
Cue laugh track.
Hey, you remember that bullshit I made up? I want you to get to the bottom of it.
Hey, pause. Like the BS that Howard Stern and everybody put out that Trump doesn't want to be president. It's all a big stunt. Trump won't run for re-election. Trump isn't, there's not going to be a red wave. It'll be a blue wave. Trump will never get 3% growth rate. He doesn't have a magic wand. Blah, 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 blah. Trump is totally committed, 100% real. Continue.
This isn't about ideology anymore. Trump has none anyway. When he decided to run, he didn't brush up on conservatism by studying Buckley and Reagan. And his only experience with Goldwater was in a Russian hotel room.
All right, let's hit pause again. They admit that no one pissed on the president. There were no hookers. It was paid for in a fake dossier. They admit it's all a lie on record. But he just slipped the lie in again that Trump was in PP Gate in St. Petersburg. Did it again. And there were some other lies before that. I can't even keep track of it. Back it up 15 seconds again. I got to get that last lie. Go to it.
He decided to run. He didn't brush up on conservatism by studying Buckley and Reagan.
Yeah, let me tell you. His dad gave a lot of money to the John Birch Society. His dad was a staunch anti-communist. His lawyer, his mentor, that they say he cut his teeth on even more than Fred Trump, was Roy Cohn, the guy that ran the House Un-Americans activities and the Senate committee and was basically the guy behind Joseph McCarthy. And I was told this by high-level folks. And then I checked the New York Times. They now publish stuff going back 20, 30, 40 years. It's all online. I went and read one weekend for hours. Engrossing stuff about before they attacked the Trumps, about everything about his dad. And all the stuff that went on. And his dad reportedly beating up communists and stuff in the 40s. I mean, Fred Trump would beat up communists in the street. Which I'm not even saying I agree with. But he'd see some communists shooting their mouths off to him. He'd just beat their ass. Donald Trump's dad reportedly would beat communist ass in the street. Because back then they were getting really rough in New York. He would reportedly take on 5 guys. Fred Trump was a badass. Fred Trump was a wild man. Trump's lawyer was the guy that ran the entire anti-communist operation that we now know was run by globalists. And Trump knows all of this. He wrote editorials and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars against NAFTA and GATT. He went on Oprah and said all the same stuff he's saying now. He was against the Iraq War before it started, when nobody else was but me and a few others. So he's a populist, pragmatist patriot. And he wants to have the world win. Remember, they said, oh, you might get the Peace Prize if this thing happens with North Korea. He goes, I just want victory for the planet. I just want Americana worldwide. Where have you heard that before? You heard it here. And the reason they can sync me and Trump up is because we're singing from the same damn piece of music. It's called America. We're not telling each other what to do or say. We are synced up. So that's why I'm so excited. The globalists are freaking out. They don't know what to do. They're panicking. So Trump didn't want to be president. Trump doesn't believe anything. Trump's a fake. Trump blows in the wind. Trump's really a blah, blah, blah. Trump's a shill for Hillary to help her get elected. All of it is lies. Continue.
And his only experience with Goldwater was in a Russian hotel room.
Hit pause. Nope, sorry. His dad financed Goldwater. He knew Goldwater. Oh, sorry, he knew President Reagan. And Reagan, the only time he ever said it, said, when I met Trump, I knew he would be president. And it was like a time warp. He said, I knew I was meeting the president, and I felt like I was meeting the president. And Trump's got this thing. Like you see him on TV, he's kind of like to get in the room with him. And see, that's what they can't stand. You think rats like Hillary and Weinstein and all these people, they can't stand strength. That's why they want us weak. That's why they want to get rid of masculinity. All of it. They're threatened by people like Fred Trump. You know what America is seeing revival from? Because of people like Fred Trump. Trump stands on the shoulders of his father, just as we all do, for better or worse. And so Trump is the ghost of Fred Trump. And the left has gotten that one part right about Fred Trump with his sons, especially Donald. You're going to save the republic. We're going to beat these people. The country's in danger. There's powerful big banks funding communism to rot the country and bring it down. And we're going to stop them. But as we live here in New York around all this Hollywood trash and all the rest of it, you got to sit there and keep your face nice with them, but you also got to fight them, and we're going to beat these people. He's got that syndrome of Americana where we're going to beat the British royalty. We're going to beat the globalists. We're going to take them on. We're going to win. And Trump's self-made out of his own money and his own systems. And by self-made, I mean not made through big combines, not made through big globalist organizations. He's a standalone, just like his dad was, coming from nowhere. And being able to move in, even against the Italian mafia, and build high-rises in New York when nobody else could do it. How do you think he did that? By getting people's respect. And now the globalists are going to want respect for America, aren't they? And if they want to fight, some of us aren't going to make it through this. That's good. You pieces of trash aren't going to be running the show anymore when we're done with you. Now, let's go back to finish up with this traitor Maher. These idiots he has on there. All laugh together. Oh, we're all laughing at the Republicans. We're winning. Ha ha! We're winning.
This isn't about actual Republicans either. Those guys are gone. George Bush the First quit the NRA in 1995 when some gun nuts called the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms jackbooted thugs.
Let's stop for a minute. Again, CNN and others, when cops get shot in the back, MSNBC say, well, like a cop will get shot 1,000 miles away from a questionable shooting. And then they go, well, the cops got shot in Dallas or Louisiana because, cops are being bad. There's going to be pushback. That's CNN. That's MSNBC. They're out there pushing cop killing. Oh, but now, the Republicans hate law enforcement. Oh, the Republicans hate the ATF. Oh, because G. Gordon Liddy worked with the NRA, and he said that the agents that shot first and attacked the Branch Davidians instead of arresting Koresh when he worked in town every day and who blew that place up and killed those kids were jackbooted thugs. They were a bad example. That's reasonable to say. That's good to say. It's not good to say You think a cop did something wrong, so you go shoot 5 cops 1,000 miles away in the back when they're out there protecting your Black Lives Matter protest. And some of them are black. But see, it's a laundry list. Oh, they don't like the cops. Oh, the Republicans. You see, it's all how, no, you're out of touch, Maher. You're out of touch. You want to euthanize everybody. You want us to roll over and die so you can have more and not have traffic. There's a city because there's all those people that built it. It's like saying you don't want a coral reef. There's other fish in it. Life congregates. That's everything else is dead around it. Idiot. Yeah, I can't breathe. Okay, so you humanize one person that got killed, and then you dehumanize the police. And I'm not even worshiping the police, but the globalists want to overthrow the police and put their police in. That's what the muscling of the police is about. Let's continue.
Bush said it deeply offended his sense of decency and honor. But when Alex Jones says children faked their own deaths at Sandy Hook, it doesn't deter Trump from telling him.
Back it up again. That photo is photoshopped and deformed to my face. And so that's a new thing they do, is they put out deformed photos, or they blow my head up on the video. We confirmed it with Megyn Kelly. They actually, in the shots of me, they stretch the frame out. You can actually stretch video. Why not just have me, Jabba the Hutt? That's what they do now. And again, the internet didn't believe what happened and some of the anomalies at Sandy Hook. I looked at it, played devil's advocate on both sides. They edit the tapes to sit there and have me definitively saying it. I would never definitively say that. Then they said I said nobody died at Parkland. I didn't even play devil's advocate on that. And they said the same thing about another shooting. And then for years I say, well, they took it out of context. I'm still saying I'm sorry to the families and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's the bottom line. And they don't care. They just reboot it and say it, and then say that I'm saying it. All over the news, they say, Jones won't stop saying nobody died. Jones is sending people to people's houses. Jones is her. And I read these names in the paper. I don't know who they are. And then some of the names are people attacking me because I say I think people died at Sandy Hook 3 years ago. You can go pull up my final message on Sandy Hook. And I said to the media, they lied about Gulf of Tonkin. They lied about babies in incubators to get a war launched. They lied about all these other things. Anytime there's a big event, we should check into it. The chemical weapons attacks, it turned out, were staged by the rebels. The last one didn't even happen. That's mainstream news now. But that doesn't mean once it's humanized, and you see the parents and what they're saying, that I go, well, there's some anomalies, but there's ways to explain that. I think their children died, and I'm sorry if stuff I said hurt them in the past. The media doesn't care. They just edit tapes and re-air them and say that I'm saying no one died currently. It's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's finish up with Maher. Here it is.
When Alex Jones says children faked their own deaths at Sandy Hook, it doesn't deter Trump from telling him, your reputation is amazing. I will not let you down. They're soulmates. You say twisted crap to crazy people, so do I. We should grab a time.
Hey, pause. Remember Elvis Presley with women pulling their panties off and throwing themselves at him and jumping on him? When a woman jumps on you with both legs around you, with her hips around you, and grabs you, that means she wants you. So if a woman initiates, you're saying they grab you, they come up, you can do anything you want. That's taped, that's edited, whatever. It's 11 years ago, 12 years ago. But now, we're out assaulting women. No, that's Harvey Weinstein. Continue.
The latest thing Trump pulled out of his ass is this nonsense about the FBI spying on him. There was no spy.
This is the best part. There was no spying. They were just watching him because he's a Russian. We weren't spying. We just infiltrated him. We're watching you. That mental trick. Are you that dumb? Because people are laughing. It's funny. Oh, he just lied to you to your face. Play it.
FBI spying on him. There was no spy. It was just the Bureau checking out whether someone on the Trump campaign was communicating with Russia, based on the tiny fact that everybody in the Trump campaign was communicating with Russia.
And pause again. Everybody in the campaign. Turns out they've indicted, 5 people, all of it on making misleading statements, nothing to do with Russia, or with 13-year-old tax returns that aren't 100% correct, maybe. And there's nothing. And then you've got FBI moles and CIA moles like Stefan Halperin trying to get in the campaign, bringing up Russians to everybody. And you read some of the transcripts of these meetings, because they did transcripts in these meetings just to be safe. You got a stenographer in there typing, and you'll have these people in the meetings just going, what about the Russians? We should meet with them. Forget the Russians. Russians, sir. What about the Russians? You know, the Russians. Oh, we have a meeting here about Russians and trying to, end their bar on adoption in the U.S. to save lives. Okay, we'll meet with them. This is all they've got while Hillary has Mueller delivering bags of uranium on Moscow tarmacs. And hundreds of millions from Uranium One. And again, everything's a lie with these people. So we weren't spying on you. We were just watching because everybody in your campaign's Russians, and we had spies on your ass. We are not have spies. We just had spies. That's like if I was trying to sell you a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, and I was telling you it was a purple Ferrari. And you're like, it's got VW on the front. It's a bug. Everyone knows it's a bug. You show them a picture. Look, this is a bug. Volkswagen, people's wagon, people's car. See that? No, it's not. It's a purple Lamborghini. And you're like, I'm leaving. But see, you can't leave. They're on TV. They're in the airports. They're in the bathrooms at airports. CNN is paid to pump in there. Bill Maher, his lies, the newspapers, our kids in school, Starbucks brainwashing their employees. It's just everywhere. Re-education, re-education, re-education. You're going to buy the purple Lamborghini. You're going to buy the purple Lamborghini. And you're like, it's not a purple Lamborghini. It's a rusted out VW yellow car. And it's on fire. But they're like used car salesmen that are psychopaths that you can't get away from. And they're always there, force feeding. So now no one's listening to them. So they're like, well, let's just ban free speech of conservatives. People are like, oh, Alex, it's not that bad. Google just listed conservatism as a Nazi ideology and said all the candidates are Nazis. It says Nazi. Someone goes, oh, let me look up the candidates. We're about to have an election in California. Let me see who they are. Oh, she's a Nazi. First word, Nazi. You talk about defamation. It's the same liberal media that lies to get us into all these wars. These are monsters. From Oprah Winfrey to every one of these people, they say they want world depopulation. They're in a cult. They're in a cold-blooded eugenics cult using psychology at war with the people. And I've just dissected in the last hour plus every damn thing Bill Maher said, haven't I? And we're only halfway through the tape. Oh, it's okay when Google bans Alex Jones from ads a year ago. Oh, it's okay when Google says you can't sell Obama deception. It's racist. Remember that? Oh, but now it's going to be all of you too, which will lead us to breaking up Google and breaking up Facebook and Twitter, who've already complied with communist China, where they were in the news apologizing to China this week. Apple's already moved there and it's now state-run. I know I say that. It just sounds insane. They gave them the keys to everything. Reuters even admits. The country's already been sold out to China. Trump's just halfway trying to negotiate, like, hey, you run it, you own it now, you own all our debt, just don't gang rape us. You know, just, you can run us, just, but Hollywood's like, no, we got a score to settle with Christians, we got a score to settle with free market, we're going to brainwash your kids, put them all on Prozac, 5G, everybody's getting cancer, hail Satan. And Bill Maher and everyone tells you, we're going to kill you. I want to kill you. Bill Maher says, I want you dead. You're like, oh, Bill Maher loves me. Oh, Bill Maher cares about the kids. Bill Maher is a psychotic monster. And that's not an attack. I've followed him. I've watched him. He is horrible. And he hates you. He's so arrogant and so narcissistic. He just hates everyone. He's out there in that soulless Los Angeles where he belongs. Let's finish up. Here it is. Now back it up. Back it up. Oh, he's like, he does this tough guy thing where he licks his lips and like he just beat somebody up in the parking lot. Like he's got a wife beater on. He just took on some 300-pound dude. Even though he couldn't probably pick up a 1-pound weight. He's all, yeah, I'm tough. Oh, yeah, this newest BS about the FBI spying on him. Wasn't spying on you. They're just spying on you. I mean, here it is.
Tiny fact that everybody in the Trump campaign was communicating with Russia.
And he licks his lip and acts real. Ooh, that was a good one. Ooh, boy.
It's what the FBI does. investigation.
Hey, pause. So Trump said they were spying on his campaign, giving it all to Hillary and to Obama. That's all confirmed. And that they had moles and they were trying to plant breadcrumbs of Russia. And Trump said they were spying on me. And he goes, that's what they do. They investigate. It's not spying. It's investigating. Like Clapper said, well, we did spy on The View 2.5 weeks ago, but I don't like to call it that. Now they're going to play semantics. There's no world government, Alex. There's global governance. We're not sexualizing children. We're just going to teach them to have sex with adults. Go ahead.
In their name.
Yeah, hit pause. And they do it, and they do it with the proper background. They don't do it politically in the middle of an election to feed information back to Hillary. Is that why CNN gave Hillary the questions a month before, but not Trump? Was that because that's in their name? Let's continue. Hit pause. Look at how fake. All of these looks, every show's the same. He like, God almighty. The worst thing is saying the FBI is spying on him. All they were doing was watching his every move. What do these peasants not know that I can't tell them? Thank God for me. Here, let's go back. I bet his mommy told him you're the best, Bill Maher. You're better than everybody, Bill Maher. You're going to show him, Bill Maher, because you don't have any conscience, Bill Maher, because you're a genetic psychopath. Let's continue.
Even the folks who believe that the world is secretly run by an alien race of shape-shifting lizard people?
I don't know. Let's pause. I don't believe that, but you're a good argument for it. I mean, you say you want to kill everybody. The planet's yours. The planet is ours. Kill everyone. Kill everyone. Kill everyone. Abortion. Abortion. Murder. Murder. Kill. 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 Death. Kill. Murder. Death. Kill. I mean, maybe what are those things? Drollics? What are they called in Doctor Who? They go exterminate. Daleks. Exterminate. Exterminate. Oh, look, it's our friend. He's saying exterminate. Don't let critically ill or terminally ill patients have experimental life extension. Oh, but he wants assisted suicide to be government paid for. Exterminate. Oh, look, it's a exterminate. Oh, my God. Look how cute he is. He's a little exterminator. Here, let's hear more from him.
By an alien race of shape-shifting lizard people? They have a video to back it up.
This is the funny part. The same people think that I'm a lizard because sometimes the Skype would have artifacts, you know? And they think Paul Watson's one. I actually had a former employee believe it and tell people that. And that should be interesting. I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, the same guy that said I was telepathically. This country's well, of course, that's a Hillary supporter, we learned. Sorry, let's finish up here.
Can't argue with that. But Spygate, there's literally nothing, and that is so alarming because one way we measure the health of a society is by how conspiratorial it is. Communist countries, Arab dictatorships, those places you could always sell anything because there was no trust in the institution.
You're the ones, they always end with this now. Trump's undermining trust in institutions. Alex Jones is undermining trust in institutions. No, you undermine trust because you were globalists hiding as Americans in our name. Now I'm more and more for the institutions because we're taking them back and suddenly things are going well and the social contract is starting to come back. You know, because Trump believes in a human future, not a eugenics future like you. Mr. I want to depopulate the earth. I want to kill kids. I want to murder everybody. Whatever gets the highway moving. I love assisted suicide. Pay for it with taxes, but don't give sick people medicine. Those are Bill Maher statements. He knows he made them because he's got a sick, evil audience, and he wants to get them really evil like he is. He's got to get them to that point, like Bill Gates going, if we don't give an old lady last year coverage, we'll hire 10 teachers. The teachers are going, money, I kill old ladies. You build a bigger economy, you take care of people better, and then you get a better civilization. They want a austerity civilization. That's what Agenda 21 is. All right, let's continue.
You could always sell anything because there was no trust in the institutions. Republicans, that's what you're doing to this country.
No, you're the one saying the Republicans are all Nazis. Everyone that voted for Trump, all Nazis. That's the latest talking point. You're the one saying don't trust Trump, even though everything's turning around. So everything you say, we're doing, you're doing, you lying. Again, they say psychopaths study normal human emotions. So if you watch his show, I've studied it, because he's so evil. He does the same. He'll look over there, and then he'll look down, and those little faces, and it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Just like Snoop Dogg behind the scenes sounds like Urkel. Yes, I got a major business deal going. And then at dinner, Bill Maher is just like, real, everything's horrible. I hate Christians. I hate God. I hate everything. But then, hi, I'm Bill Maher. It's a nice. Woohoo, yeah, kids, get on the rides over here. Oh, come on down here. There's clowns and there's elephants and popcorn, and just stick your arm in here. Oh, don't go away. I'm Bill Maher. But see, I'm not afraid of you, clown. But you can feel it slipping away, slipping away. He knows the con isn't working anymore. Bill Maher, enemy of humanity.
And
lick the lip. That's the old body.
so the only answer is that more sane people have to vote than insane
Back it up
people.
again. Oh, thank God he gives me the answer, the high priest up on the mountain. Thank God Bill Maher's there to rule me in his super class. Oh, thank God flyover country and us bitter clingers. Thank God they're crushing us and teaching us. Oh, they've got our kids. The only sane answer is to vote for the Democratic Party and Pelosi and all these psychopaths and criminals that would turn us into Venezuela. The only sane answer, the only safe answer is to let all the illegal aliens vote, which they're openly promoting, but then say doesn't exist in the same breath. Hold on. Let me just bow to Bill Maher. Oh, yes, Mr. Maher. Tell me whoever filled your teleprompter. I bow to that person. This is standard talking points. Here, standard Democratic Party talking point. They've been all the big late night shows get Chucky Schumer calls now. Imagine how busy he is telling him what to, let me help you with that comedy, Mr. Fallon, or let me help you with that comedy, Mr. whatever your name is. Say Alex Jones hates gay people and he loves Hitler. And then say he's mean to the Sandy Hook families. And then you say this. And that's all they do. And then they go say it, and the laugh track goes up, and Bill Maher does his best Josh Brolin, tough guy deal. And then he kind of puts his lips together, he's really, he cares about us. Just let me in. It's like Count Dracula. I live on the castle at the hill. I noticed you just moved in here, my dear. Would you invite me into your home? Well, certainly. Have some wine. Oh, that's not my taste. I like a different vintage, a different Chardonnay, you could say. But do you mind if I just drop by sometime unannounced? Let me in, my dear. And you're like, I don't think so. It's like, come here, says Sumner Redstone. Come to me. Let us have your children. Take the vaccines, take the Prozac. Take the weaponized marijuana that Soros got legalized. It puts you in a brain damage coma. Come to me. Come here. We're not coming here. And then Mars, come here. You have a strong will for one that has only lived one life. We're in trouble. There's crazy people running things. I just lied to you in a spectacular way that 20-plus writers and politicians wrote for me. Now I'm going to talk to a bunch of Democratic Party hacks with horrible histories with the Clintons we won't discuss, who've been on the airplanes, who've seen it all, but none of you have a memory, so I can rule over you. Thank God you're so dumb, like Gruber said. Thank God you have no memory. Thank God, thank God, thank God. I can prey on you. I'm Bill Maher. I have a right to rule you. All right, go ahead and finish up with Mr. Maher with his Moses on the mountain, giving us the stone tablets. Oh, the mist clears. Oh, look, he's there, the puppet man. But he's got a spirit of hate through which the words can flow. Let's hear what our Lord says.
The only answer is that more sane people have to vote than insane people in every election. So tell your sane friends that the midterms are the most important election of their lives, and tell your conservative friends that climate scientists are working with the Clintons to slip a chemical into the air ducts at polling places that will turn everyone who votes gay. All right, that's our show.
Yeah, I've noticed they've moved away from saying chemicals in the water turning the frogs gay. Because when I did that 10 years ago, I knew that people weren't looking at the studies where it said makes the frogs behave in a homosexual manner or sterilizes them. And they got it tested in the U.S., Australia, Canada, South Africa, England, Germany, Russia. It's all the same. Just a tiny bit of atrazine in the water. Less than 1 part per million. And yeah, not to mention the cancer, the deformities, everything else. And it's doing it to us too. All the numbers show that. But people were losing on this, you see. They were, the globalists were. People were going and looking it up and going, my God, Journal of Nature, Smithsonian, Lord, I had no idea. The fish, all of it, the humans, my God, the breast cancer is caused by this? I didn't know that. Well, this is important. No, instead they have David Hogg on TV going, don't listen to Alex Jones. Don't get water filters. The water's good. You can trust it. And they clap. Yeah. Don't listen to the guy that says filter the water. So now it's, don't listen to Jones. He says they're putting stuff in the vents at the voting booths to make you gay. See, and that's the new thing. Jones says they're putting stuff in the air to make you gay. So when people search that, they don't find it. Unless they read the declassified Pentagon plan to spray hormones on the Iraqi troops to make them have gay sex. They actually have a hormone to make you do that. But it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So everything they're doing is just plotting how to deceive you, plotting how to manipulate you, plotting how to keep you in a coma, plotting how to keep control. Now, I got a meeting I got to go to. I wanted to do some extra videos. I appreciate the crew coming in today. I ended up spending a lot of time on this because it's just par for the course how they operate and what they do. And I'd love to believe I'm this important. I'm not. They've decided to pick me as a populist, real Americana figure, demonize that to hurt Americana, to intimidate others, and then to try to use me as a symbol against Trump and the Make America Great Again movement. They failed to bring down Trump. They fail. All their lies about him has caved in. That facade is falling very, very fast. I really need to do a special report, but I need to write some notes because what I want to tell you is so huge that if I just kind of do a special report and don't kind of treat it as if it's special, because it is, it'll fall on deaf ears. I mean, I'll do some little silly thing or a fun thing and 10 million people watch it. I do some super hardcore stuff and only a couple 100,000 watch it. I know what's going on at the White House. I know what's going on with Kanye West, Kim Kardashian. I know what's going on with Donald Trump. I know what's going on with Elon Musk. I know what's going on with Louis Farrakhan. I know the behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on that is really cool, and the globalists know it. Trump and them are rolling this out incrementally, and it's all very well choreographed in a good way, like where Kardashian shows up Thursday and wants to talk about prison reform, getting black people out of prison because they get triple the time in jail, thanks to Bill Clinton. Hillary called them animals and keep black men at heel like dogs. Remember all that? There's actual video of that. Imagine if Trump said that. And so we're talking about, hey, if you got a drug conviction and it's not violent, and if you got sentencing 3 times what crack cocaine is for regular cocaine, there's a couple 100,000 black men still in jail, sometimes serving 30-year sentences for it. Rehabilitate them, get them out. How are you going to attack Kim Kardashian for doing that? Because, by the way, Trump's going to move for prison reform. He's going to let the black people out of prison. And they're going to call him Hitler again. So I was told all this by military sources, by Pentagon sources, by other sources about what was going on in the background. Trump's been planning this 4 or 5 years. And Kanye's been on board the whole time. And he's got a lot of courage. And this whole thing's coming down. I mean, it's on. And that's why Obama, a month ago it came out, desperately called Jay-Z, that Aleister Crowley guy. Seriously, he hangs out with him, does that stuff. He's a horrible guy. Look at his eyes. He's pure evil. Listen to Kanye talk about love and a bigger plan and coming together and putting it all on the line. And so your spirit knows it's good. You look at Jay-Z, man, it's just, man, that's bad stuff. Type in Jay-Z with the high priestess of Aleister Crowley, Bravanovich. And Obama called me and said, you got to stop hip-hop going to the White House. You got to stop. But hip-hop all knew that Trump always invited him and let black folks be the first to get onto his golf courses and Jews and all the rest of it. They know Trump broke all that up 40 years ago. Can't believe that places even existed like that 40 years ago, but that's what was still going on. Real racism. That's why they used to always, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. He was the good white guy. All of a sudden, he's the bad black guy or the bad white guy. And people are waking up. They understand what's going on. I'm talking about bad black guy, Jay-Z. Yeah, there you go. Receiving the anointing of Lucifer. That's what he was doing in that photo. Everyone's just, so into it. Ugh. Hashtag spirit cooking. Look into it. Look into it, folks. You want to be with these people? Kanye's picked the right side, the bigger plan. All right, great job to the crew. I didn't have time to get to all this. Let me just make a phone call here. Hold on one second. Okay. Got somebody here at the building. Supposed to be meeting with at 3, but I've gone over. We're out there in the 107-degree heat today. It's going to be one hell of a scorcher summer. Look at him about to receive it. Oh, he's about to receive the Aleister Crowley power. And what's sick is you sit there and you read all the Hollywood people and all the leftists praising her and worshiping her and saying, oh, she changed their life. And you read her Reddit thing. Oh, no, these are real rituals. And it's Aleister Crowley wimp, magical thinking crap. No, you globalists hijacked America and the Renaissance. That's where your power came from, not from the devil. And, I mean, these people worship the devil. They worship the devil. And these people brag about how much power they got being around this woman. When you look at her, it's pure narcissistic insanity. Oh, and look, she looks so young. You look at real videos of her 10 years ago, she looks like an 80-year-old hag. But they put these Photoshop rubber face shots out of her. She looks like a 75, 80-year-old man. And they go, oh, she's so beautiful. She doesn't age. Yeah, she doesn't age. Yeah, right. Show her 3 years ago with Jay-Z. Send us those photos. And people coming to receive the power from her. You people don't know anything about power. Fools. Look at these loon bags. Look at Jay-Z playing along with this stuff and smiling like they're entering each other's spirits. And look at her and that big old pig neck she's got, that big old ugly head. Imagine. Ugh. God almighty, get her off the screen. Meanwhile, behind the facade of this innocent-looking bookstore, there's the real fire and the real vengeance. The devil only tries to pretend to be God. Knows nothing of the real thing. You will taste hell. You will taste death, which you fear more than anything. I am but a signpost, metaphysically, of your doom. That way leads death. This way leads life. Choose the left hand or the right hand. And many of you know the real path, the real stairway to the next level. But you have chosen in your heart this path that goes down into hell. and hell awaits. Or all hell is people like you together, away from us forever. Is that not heaven? Away from Jay-Z, away from Michael Moore, away from Hillary Clinton. You look at Hillary trying to act powerful in front of people, and she's this husk with this dim jack-o'-lantern glow coming out, and it looks horrific, and she doesn't know how horrific she looks, and they thought, look at our goddess. She will be the one. Oh, yes. Oh, because if they can make you take something that spiritually ugly with a demonic vampire glow shining out of it. Yeah, click on that one, third row on the left-hand side. Look at that. I mean, if these are real photos, ladies and gentlemen. Look at her in that lower photo in the middle when she's looking up from when she was in the governor's office. Bottom row. Her when she's a lawyer. Now it's the row above her. Yeah, that's it. Click that one. Look at that. If that's not a predator right there, boy. You think for 1 minute you'd want to live with that person or trust them? You think that person has any joy or beauty in their life? No. One thing, lust for power 20 hours a day to force her will on you. Unprecedented. Trump aims to defy midterm campaign history. CNN panic, says he's set to do it. America should be more at ease than this. CNN goes, everything's the best it's ever been. It's true, but it's not Trump. Unemployment rate matches lowest point in half century. White House, no one's defending Roseanne, but Trump still owed an apology. And they're so desperate, they're now going to call every Republican candidate a Nazi officially on their profile in Google. And remove Christian holidays from all. I mean, they're making their move. We already made ours, Jack. You guys just pretended that we didn't have you in our gun sights. We've been digging in and burrowing and on the offense and on the defense and on our knees at 3 a.m. talking to the real boss in the real spiritual teleportation you know nothing of. We've already been around the cosmos before you ever learned how to torture a baby to death to feel powerful. Selfishness isn't power, scumbag. And you're going to find that out. All of you. Hillary calls me the dark heart. Maybe because I see your heart, my pretty, and in my eyes you see yourself reflected. But your reflection in my eyes is not me. I simply give you a little gleam of your master staring back at you. The mirror you fear to look into. The place you'll never be able to go. All right, that's it for this live transmission. Great job to the crew. If you guys want to hang around, I'm going to have this meeting and do more, but I will release you. I know some of you have been working 6-7 days a week if you want to go. It's up to you. I know Zimmerman's getting on a plane with me tomorrow anyway, so he's got a lot to do. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. I have miles to go before I sleep. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Just because they bully you and attack you and ridicule you when you support InfoWars, that is a badge of honor. Taking on devil worshipers, taking on eugenicists, taking on Satanists, taking on deceivers, taking on these broken, weak, twisted people is a badge of honor. When you're drawing their attack, you're getting closer to God. If you want to find God, stand up to the enemy. And then you'll be ashamed of how much power you have in the presence of God, and the power won't matter anymore. And it'll be a joke because you'll have unlimited power. Unlimited. But a conscience that controls it. The mind of God. The governing spirit of the great intellect. All that ever was, ever will be, shall be. Unlimited. Intergalactic. Thousands of dimensions. Total. Complete. Waiting. Or the little devil worshiper that can just imagine the mind of God, but just have a little glimpse and go, oh, I'm powerful, but kill everyone. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Power, power, power. And they're hopping around like demon vampires. They are vampires. Psychic, cultural, spiritual, physical, blood drinkers. Al Gore, I remember hearing this when I was on there 20 years ago, didn't believe it. I was mailed the news clipping and confirmed it. And Al Gore later talked about it, said, oh, well, I just take it in case I got shot or something. Al Gore has a refrigerator of blood that goes around with him. Of course, there's a whole science now, and people take the blood and do all that kind of stuff. A lot of rich people I know do that stuff, but that's people that have had the blood screen. It's not kids' blood. It came out the Queen of England's mother got kids' blood. Oh, but the children's families donated it for her own. The children said it's okay. You're not allowed to, the age of consent. That's abuse. These royals and people are pumped up on kids' blood. They ain't drinking it. They're taking it in their veins. That's vampirism out in the open. And I've got friends that are like, it's not that bad. I feel great. I'm doing it. I know 40-something-year-old people that are like, you really ought to go to my doctor. This blood's really good. And I'm going, yeah, your skin looks like baby skin there, bro. Your wife looks like she's 25. That can't be good. Well, I know. We're kind of vampires now. Yeah, you're kind of vampires now. See how they kind of slipped it in on you like it's no big deal? But not a real vampire tortures a kid for about an hour. Then they drain off that blood and have an orgy in it. Drink some. All right, that's it for this transmission. Remember who you're up against. Remember who you're up against. A lot of people say, well, my God, Alex, you're just scaring people. I'd be scared not to be awake and take these folks on. They want to fight, they got one. I have only just now been spiritually authorized to take the gloves off. Now's the time. Every time they escalate, next level. So my armories are open. Thank God, and I thank Jesus, and I thank God for the provision. Please help me through all this, and I need all your prayers as well. Don't forget to pray for Bill Maher. Whatever God wants to visit upon him, be it good or bad, that Bill Maher, sometime in the next week, before 7 sunsets and 7 sunrises, Bill Maher, at night, I think is going to see God. That's it for this live transmission.
Over 20 years ago, Alex Jones created the media platform called InfoWars. And in the decades since, it's grown into a truly remarkable institution with over 200 radio affiliates, tens of millions of unique website visitors monthly, and a 24/7 live news TV channel broadcasting from state-of-the-art studios in Austin, Texas. InfoWars has become the most trusted independent news source in the country, dedicated to delivering breaking news, live coverage of special events, and exclusive reports you won't find anywhere else. While the old guard media struggles to maintain supremacy in a landscape rocked by innovation and technology, InfoWars has been at the forefront of the information revolution. From 8 million radio listeners, over 2 million YouTube subscribers, or the billions of views of our online content, InfoWars proves dominant in every facet of media we enter. For the hardest-hitting reports, uncompromising analysis, for high-profile interviews and bombshell revelations, accept no substitutes. Demand truth. Demand InfoWars. InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.